Okay, so as we speak the helpful truth, as we begin to engage in this conversation in which we're going to create more of what it is that we need and what others in the relationship need, we're speaking into an existing space, into a conversation that has gone on before. We are entering into and inhabiting a loop that already exists, and we want to do this in such a way that we are actually making things better. That is, we're going to create more of what we need. So the first thing that we need to do is to listen. Now, as we listen, as we're paying attention to what's already happening there, what's the culture, what's the language, what's the habit, what are the processes that normally go on within this conversation, we're going to want to make sense of that with our heads. We've got various cognitive maps that we use that we understand. What is the argument here? What are the dynamics that the other person is bringing? What is their perspective? Can I listen to where they're coming from in such a way that now I can figure out what it is that we're dealing with? So I want to be able to get my head around it. And it's important that we recognize that there's another kind of listening, not just the head listening, but the heart listening. That when we are listening with our heart, we're listening without preconception. We're listening without already knowing what it is the other person's going to say, or without an agenda to decide what we're going to say. We're simply being present to where the other person is coming from. This is not the way we normally listen. This is a kind of listening that actually takes practice, well worth the practice. The more we practice simply being present to the other and listening without an expectation, without already knowing, simply bringing not no mind to whatever is arising in our relationship with the other. One of the things that we discover is that sometimes the only conversation that we need to have in order to shift the loop in a way that enhances it such that we are able to construct more of what we need, the only thing we need to do is to listen. That simply by being present to the other in such a way that they feel heard, they shift. Because oftentimes when people are opposing what it is that we're saying, they're opposing it for reasons that have to do with their own agency. Do I have a voice here? Am I going to be heard? Does what I say matter? And as soon as we relate to them, as soon as we construct the loop in such a way that we're saying very clearly, you matter enough that I'm going to listen to you. I'm not listening to try and prove you wrong. I'm listening to try and understand where it is that you're coming from. That is often enough to shift the dynamics of the loop in such a way that we begin to get more of what we need. So the first thing that we want to do is to inhabit the loop in a way that allows us to be fully present to others such that we engage our listening. All right.